Talking to the councilman, Joe Marino, along with Mayor Rob Palmieri, City of Utica. So there has been an issue on the funding for the senior centers. And West Utica, of course, the West Side Senior Center has been quite critical of the numbers. I don't know how. So tell me, and I haven't seen the answer yet. I know there's a story in the OD, but even there, Joe, there's not any specific answer. What makes the city give West Side less than the others?
It's very simple, and if I could just interject, and I'll let Joe. That when we look at this, we have a committee from Urban and Economic Development that interviews everyone, the recipients that want to come in, as does the members of the Common Council. So it's based on the dialogue and what they have. They're leveraging. How many people they're serving. There's a criteria that goes into it, and that's what it's based on. It's not based on, okay, you want 40, we're going to give you 40, or, because no one's really getting exactly what they want. It's based on how they leverage that money and how they deliver the services. And the real end of the story is at this point is that in proportion, they are getting actually more than the other two, and they do a very good job. No one's saying that they don't do a good job, but we're under the microscope of HUD. We're audited, we're monitored, and it's no different. We have to make sure that the money that we're sending out there, at the end of the day, is serving, and it's rightfully proportionate to what we have out there. So to that end, I'll let Joe talk a little bit more, but if you look at what they service. Each, one has 17. The total members are 1,700. One is 2,000, and the West Side is 425. So I mean, they're not equal as far as that goes. And
all right. I want to stop you now because
yeah.
Up to this point, this argument has been. I mean, I've seen it debated back and forth, and even in the story in the OD, it doesn't really clarify that. So you're saying that the part of the reason is because of membership. And you're saying West Side has 425 members. The Parkway has how many members?
So let me just, if I could, interject with some numbers.
He said one was 2,000, one was about 1,700.
Okay, so we're going to say 1,700 at the
2,000.
Parkway, and then 2,000 up in North Utica. Is that correct? Is the mayor correct when he says that? It's because of the numbers?
See, and here's the thing. Right now, as it sits, we have to have an action plan to HUD by April 10th. And what we've done so far is the council and my committee, the Urban and Economic Development Committee, also met with all these organizations to hear their stories because you can't really get a full gist of what they're talking about just in a black and white application. So the council had met with them, and that's what the story you've seen in the OD today was. But let me, here's the numbers on the senior centers and why I believe we were more than fair in our recommendation. You got a total budget in North Utica of $1.4 million, total budget at the Parkway of $218,000, a total budget in the West Utica of $97,000. Now, based on the money that we've given them, West Side got about 30% of their total budget from CDBG, Parkway got about 11%, and North Utica got about 2% of their total budget. Per capita, you're talking about $70 per person at West Side, about $12 per person at the Parkway, and about $17 per person at North Utica because of the way that their numbers shake out.
You do realize that, of course, what is being charged here is that this is political. So,
right, which is why I would always tell you, let's suppose, in a bizarre universe, someone actually did subscribe to being political over this. You're talking about, people in City Hall and in the Common Council taking politics out on the users of these senior centers. I think that is the most abhorrent thing, in the world. No one in the right mind would try to take it out politically on, the wonderful 400 people that use the West Side, the wonderful 1,700 that use the Parkway and North Utica and the 2,000. We're talking not about politicians or politics. We're talking about people using these services, and we wanted to make sure that we gave them the money that they needed. And $70 per person at the West Side Senior Center is, 6 times more than it is per person at North and East.
But can you go back to one thing about? You said one budget or one of the budgets for one of them is about $100,000. The other's about $120,000. What was the third one? The Parkway?
Parkway was $218,000 for a total budget in relation to CDBG. North Utica was $1.4 million.
$1.4 million for a senior center.
That's quite a facility up there.
Certified daycare center.
Okay.
And they have to have a number of inspections monthly. They have to have programs run for children, specific New York State Education Department programs. The Parkway Center is strictly intergenerational. They certainly service children and seniors, but however, it's not a certified daycare center. And just like the West Side services wonderfully.
Yeah.
They're a great organization. And the two things that kept coming up when I interviewed the senior centers was North Utica and the Parkway Center said, we really don't want to be in a position where we're competing with the senior centers across the city because we're all servicing the same amount of people. Someone from West Utica can go to North Utica in a heartbeat, and in fact they do. And people from North Utica can go to West. So we have to make sure as a city that we're treating everyone fairly. And I firmly believe that we are. It's everything went really, really well. The committee did a great job. Brian Thomas did a wonderful job by staying with us, and the mayor did an amazing job by providing all this information and the tools that we needed to make what we hope is a good decision. At the end of the day, he's going to go through and we've talked and where these numbers land.
So, Mayor, you feel the this criticism is the criticism being political is political.
Again, let the numbers speak for themselves.
Yeah, so just a quick question there. We're getting a message here. Why does the Parkway Center get free rent and utilities paid by the city of Utica? Are these not-for-profits? Are these considered not-for-profits, the senior centers?
Yes, sure are.
All three?
Best of my knowledge, they're a 501c3.
Yeah, and we explained this during the...
And the Parkway's the Parkway's a completely different animal, right? I mean, that's a different...
And here's why. See, what happened over the years was there was a lot of consolidation of services, and the East Utica Senior Center that once was had closed, the Cornhill Senior Center that once was had closed, and I believe South Utica had closed, and they consolidated. And at the time, I believe Ed Hanna was the mayor, they consolidated into a city-owned building.
Yeah.
And that being the Parkway Rec Center. Now, what they utilize, they pay for. What we utilize, we pay for. The city doesn't subsidize the Parkway Senior Center's activities outside of with CDBG funds, like we're talking about now. But that argument keeps coming up that we're paying for their utilities and we're paying for everything that they have over there. The fact is we consolidated 3 senior centers into one unit, and that's where they land. And the city certainly does. We pay for the gym. We pay for the lights there. We pay for the chalet,
right.
through our budget. But not the activities of the center itself.
So there's more to that. Why that's a different animal is there's just more to that facility.
Boys and Girls Club are up there also.
Right.
I mean,
right.
there's that is it's functioning 24 hours a day at the Parkway Senior Center.
Right.
Whether we call it the Parkway Center, we don't even call it the Parkway Senior Center because it's a very diverse a variety of opportunities that are up there.
And the fact is, when it comes to funding on all of these projects, everything is way down to begin with, right? The numbers are way down.
Numbers consistently are down from HUD.
Yeah.
I mean, each year we're receiving less and less through the federal government. And let's look back where we were multiple years ago. We were not looked at very favorably by HUD, and we have built up a very strong relationship. That we are one of only 3 in New York State that have needs assessment. Now we're going to be coming up with strengthening communities and homes, which we will be the giver for. Let me see, Watertown, Binghamton, Rome, Amsterdam, which will be housed here. So we're looked at totally different now from HUD, and we're not going to do. Listen, we are not doing anything political.
Yeah.
This is nothing more than what we are under the microscope. The members of the Common Council are under the microscope. You had 3 different entities taking a look and interviewing every one of the recipients coming in here. I think we did a very good job. And you know what? Next year it may not be that amount of money because we'll look at everybody else. If we're getting less money, then we're going to be able to give more, to give less money. But at the end of the day, HUD is looking for results. The city of Utica is looking for results, and the senior centers are looking for results. So we're all on the same path to be able to provide a better product, and there's a little bit more scrutiny now than there has been in the past.
Got it.